Okay, so let's start off with introductions, and I just want somebody to start with your name, your specialty service, so what you really enjoy doing and what you're really good at. And then I want you to tell me what gets in the way of your own success. And Shondell, I'm going to pick on you first.
Thanks. I'm Shondell Spader, and I really enjoy doing QuickBooks. However, I'm learning that listening to my clients and almost consulting is becoming more of the job itself, because they have all these different little areas um, where they need help, and if I give them my 5 things that I can do, that they stop there, and that's all they think about. So I've learned to continue to ask questions, and it's really fun because it does 2 things. It gets to know their business, and it really gets to know them and where they struggle and how they operate. So it's been a lot of fun. I've tried kind of some new tactics with my clients, newer clients, and really gotten to know them better, which, again, it's fun.
And what gets in the way of your own success?
My schedule, my kids' schedules. Um, Obviously, I can't change that, so I can't change that they're here, which is awesome, but um, I need to figure out what I'm comfortable with. When I started doing this, I didn't want to put them in daycare full time, and I still don't want to do that. And I need to figure out what that balance is and determine how to do that. So that's my struggle right now.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I can. Amanda Hanson. My specialty right now is organizing. What gets in the way of my success would be my own personal, I guess my business making right now is getting in the way, just because I'm so brand new at this. I'm trying to focus on more things that I need to do instead of what I want. I shouldn't really say that. It's a learning lesson right now of what I need to put down and what I need to focus as far as new clients.
Okay. So maybe you're focusing in an area that you would like to move away from?
I I feel like I'm comfortable at it now. I need to get out and seek it.
Good for you. Good for you.
That's where I'm kind of like, push, keep going, get out there.
Yep.
Amanda, when you say organizing, are you doing organizing for yourself right now? Is that what you're referring to, or is that something you're trying to offer to your client?
Well, my client right now is doing organizing. I'm there 9 to 1, and they're trying to reorganize as well as bring more people in. So my job there is to get their office organized um, so they can bring in these new people.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. Angie?
My name is Angie Lagon. My specialty is pretty much been graphic design. I have also been dabbling in a lot of writing for blogs and video blogs. And I guess the thing that gets in the way of my success, which actually is kind of opening up, but the thing that gets in my way is just my schedule and my need to be busy all the time. Sometimes can get overwhelming and can kind of slow me down a bit.
Okay. I get that.
Totally.
Well, my name is Lori McClellan, and my specialty service is QuickBooks. It's usually what I'm doing all day. What gets in the way of my success is myself. I kind of do a little bit what Angie does, is I get so busy that I never really finish anything, and I don't say no, not yet. So for me, it's a little bit of Angie, and it's also the balance, trying to determine what's the right comfort level for the busyness, trying to balance out the family and work, and working from home can be difficult too. All All right, well, thanks for sharing. We're going to start off with some company updates, and then we'll move right on through the agenda, and hopefully there's some time at the end because I think the team has seen a lot of great success stories, and I'm hoping that at the end of it we can share, or I can share for you, whatever you're more comfortable with. First of all, the website that I've been working on for ages is getting really, really close to being done. I've submitted all the content, and now it's just the content is being uploaded into the design of it all. So we're getting closer and closer for that. That's pretty exciting. It's been a very long project, but I'm happy that we will be done soon. And then I wanted to go through a couple general reminders. First of all, I just muted you guys. If you want to add something, just poke me or send me an instant message or raise your hand or whatever you do to get my attention. Okay, so general reminders. If you have a new tool that you're using for something that you could share with the group, please do that. If you get a new piece of equipment that can be offered in your services, if you got a new neat receipt scanner, whatever it may be, let me know because that's a selling point. Or if you have a new piece of software that you have mastered or whatever it may be, just make sure you're letting all of us know that. The next reminder is to be making sure that you're using our project management system that we use is Asana. I want to heavily rely on that because the volume of company clients has grown a lot. And it becomes a lot for me to be able to project manage those pieces if I'm getting information through my phone, through text messages, through everywhere. So if we can all make sure that we're filtering all of the project information into the project management system, it makes it easier. That way you don't have to listen to me ask, so where are we at, where are we at? Because I also feel like I'm being a bit of a nag when I have to do that. And then make sure you take the time to read the guide that is in there already. And if you have any tips or suggestions for it to run smoother, don't hesitate to shoot that out to everybody, and then we can add it to the guide. And then when I'm handing out company clients, I want to touch again how I'm delegating those out. They go to, first of all, if you're active. If you are actively part of the team, part of your business, that's my first flag. If you're dormant, I hesitate to use you because I don't know how dedicated you are to the business. And then the next is your skill set. Personality, sometimes it's logistics of where you at, where's the client at. And then if you're eager to take new clients on, which everybody pretty much is still happy with taking new clients on. So that's how they're delegated. And then once the project gets put into Asana, if the next step for me is to send out a virtual introduction, make sure that you're replying all to that virtual introduction so that way I'm getting a flag knowing that that project has been successfully handed off and it is now in your hands and you're taking good care of it. The last thing for the general reminders is be respectful of your time, of everybody's time, and I have even the last week, for some reason, I'm running 5 minutes late everywhere I go. And it's just a great reminder for myself, too, that 5 minutes to me when I'm busy is valuable, especially if you have a smaller window of productive work time. That 5 minutes really holds you up. So just another friendly reminder to be respectful of your time, your client's time, the team member's time. If you're going to be late, even 5 minutes, flag them. Let them know you're going to be 5 minutes late. The next thing I want to tell you about is that you should have received a Facebook invite to a closed group to the team member page that I have created. It is a group on Facebook that is closed, so that closed means it's not a public group. Not everybody can join. You have to be approved to get into the group, and it's basically invite only. People can see your name, that you're part of this group. People can see who is members. They cannot see any posts that are being posted in the group. You can share, a lot of times we see these great like quotes or tips or whatever. You can share into the Facebook group, but once something is posted into the group, you cannot share out of it. So if there's something that is put in there and you want to share on your own page, you can't. The group I put together is kind of a little platform for us to, again, create a community, come together, maybe a lot of times I'll see posts from other groups that I would love just to be able to show you guys, and I can't without posting it on where everybody can see. So it's a quiet place for us to join together and, again, create the community. If you need something quick, the Compass at the Virtual Compass is a great resource. That email, it sends it out to everybody, but most of the time we're all on Facebook anyway, so I thought it'd be another avenue that we could use. You can create events in there, so if you have a visitors day in your networking group, you could create that event to invite your team. If you're hosting a dinner party, a 31 party or whatever, and you want to invite us, you can create it in there. If you've stumbled across a networking group that you were invited to through Facebook, you could share with that group as well. I just thought it was just another avenue that we could all come together. I've made a few posts. You guys are more than welcome to post away whatever you want to share there. It's only for us, so nobody else is going to see it. If you're having a bad day and you think, I gotta talk out loud here, I'm getting frustrated, it's a place to land.
Lori, can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
Is there any reason to make it a secret group?
What did I discover about that?
So the secret group is not searchable by the general public. It is invite only, and a closed group, if somebody searched the Virtual Compass, they're going to see that one and they can request to be added.
Yep. I think why I chose to do the closed was for SEO. It crawls SEO. The secret groups don't.
Okay, and that's why I asked if there was any reason to make it one or the other, if we were going to push that it's truly just visible by us. And they can't see any of the posts. I get that. So I was just want to make sure you weren't thinking that the group wasn't searchable.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. And then the next item on the list is bios and headshots. All of our favorite pieces of joining the Virtual Compass. It was one of those things that we all struggle with. It's hard to get it right the first time. And what I finally did with this website content business is I hired somebody to write me a bio. I finally just sucked it up. I can't stand writing about myself. I didn't like the way it sounded. And it was a huge success. I haven't shared it publicly yet, but I will with you guys. So I wanted to at least share the name, because if you decide that you're just unhappy with it and you can't get it right, it's a tough hill to climb. You can use her name. Her name is Kathy. She runs Go With It. I believe her rates are $125, which might sound like a lot, but what you get is so incredibly worth it. I was kicking myself when we were done with it. I'm like, why did I not do this sooner? And I'm not only using the bio for the website, but I'm going to be using it in other pieces of my marketing. And part of that I'll talk about further in the meeting, but well worth it. And that way it's done, and I don't feel like it's not quite what I want when I'm handing it out. And headshots, if there's any current headshots you would like, the sooner the better. I know I gave you the deadline quite a while ago, but honestly, you could still sneak it in. And then also, if anybody has a photographer that they'd like to share contact information with the group, put it in our Facebook, put it in the email, whatever. The last people who did mine, I'm not happy with, but the people that did it before that, I'm extremely happy with. So it's well worth it. And they say to always make sure that your headshots are updated. So if you get your hair cut or colored, you should probably do a new headshot, because it's always a little like, if you take one from 10 years ago and you show up and you're 10 years older and 50 pounds heavier and gray, it's like, oh, that's not what I was expecting. um, so I thought I would touch on that. The next item on here is an app that I've started using on my phone called Mile IQ. Now that we all got our taxes done, or if you filed an extension, you're probably still working on this, is to figure out your mileage. And I think we all know it's a horrible process. It's like punishment for us. But this Mileage IQ is pretty cool. It's an app you download on their phone. Um, your and it actually tracks your movements. So you have to be okay with that. Some people are not okay with that. I'm like, whatever. If you really want to follow me around, I don't go any place that interesting anyways. But it follows you around, and then at the end of the day, it has a log for you to go through. You swipe it to the left if it's a business mileage, and you swipe it to the right if it is personal. And then you can make notes in the business side of like meeting with Amanda, networking in Elk River. Wherever it is, you can put a note in it, so that way you can print it out and it shows why you were going there. Your first 40 trips per month, you can use the app for free. After that, it's $4 a month. And I went through the 40 trips in like 3 days. It didn't last long. And I finally just decided, I'm going to pay the $4 a month to be able to print this at the end of the year and shove it in my tax stuff. It's going to be well worth the, for $50 I spend a year, because I'm pretty sure that if I got audited, it would take me a lot longer than a couple hours to track down where I was and who I was with for each of the mileage I reported. So I thought that was a pretty cool app that I'd share. The next one is Wise Stamp, and I don't know if you guys noticed. I know Shondell did, and I had to bite my tongue not to say anything. But you might have noticed I have a new signature on my emails. This little ditty was kind of cool to come across because it really gives a nice professional flavor of an email. That is free. It is a free thing you can add to your email account. But at the bottom of my emails right now, it has like a Wise stamp. Maybe it says like buy Wise stamp or something. Somehow it's saying who I'm using. If you want to remove that branding from your signature stamp, I think it was like $5 a month. I'm leaving it there for now because I'm okay with kind of sharing that I'm using Wise stamp. But if you want to pay to have it removed, you can. For me, I'm fine with it. I thought that was kind of cool. You can add images. You can have email templates. You can say, okay, for this group of people, I want my signature stamp to look like A. For this group of people, I want it to look like B. So you can kind of set some standards up, so it kind of simplifies everything. I don't have any reason to use it for different groups, but if you're sending, sometimes you have your own little jokes with your clients. If you want to, add your joke with your client, you could say anytime I send it to Doug, it can say this or whatever. I thought that was kind of a cool thing. So check that out if you're interested. I wanted to share with you some of the latest, greatest company projects we've been getting. Lately, a lot of fillable PDFs have been requested of us, and Shondell's been using a great program that has been really useful and effective. I believe that Sasha has one as well, so and I'm not sure what she's using.
I shared mine with Sasha yesterday. She sent me an email and asked, and she was going to check it out.
Okay, very cool. Um, so that's been a desired service. And why I'm telling you desired services, because, it's kind of like supply and demand. What is being asked of us, you're more marketable if you know what is being asked. So if you have never used a fillable PDF, maybe it's time that you start doing some research and adding that to the services you can supply. The next one is a lot of admin type of thing, basic data entry. Amanda has been working for a client on site 4 days a week, 4 half days a week to do basic admin. She's doing a lot of data entry, a lot of filing, sorting, receipt matching, just a lot of admin kind of work. The next one is always bookkeeping. That's always seems to be on the plate. The next one is Microsoft Word documents and PowerPoint presentations. So kind of a little bit of a mixture there. We still get a lot of requests for website maintenance, GoDaddy, WordPress, Infusionsoft, adding shopping carts. Some of that stuff is way beyond what any of us are willing to take on, but just knowing that the demand is out there is nice to know. So, does anybody have any questions yet? I don't think so, huh? All right, then we're going to go ahead and start with the first set of training is what does it mean to go above and beyond? It's something that I've started really talking a lot about with you guys and really trying to incorporate the way I do business and the way I present myself and present the company, even from when I'm showing up to network to handing out a business card. I think that our business cards alone, that silk laminate on it is going above and beyond because everybody's like, oh, where did you get these? These are great. So, trying to make sure that we're going above and beyond in every aspect of our work. The definition of going above and beyond is more than is required or asked, greater than what is required or asked. And I think that's a great definition because it's, again, telling us that we need to do a little bit more without going overboard, though. Also, that's a fine balance that we want to make sure that we're talking about. I've talked a lot about examples of going above and beyond while you're working with a client. Picking up a broom, organizing a desk, offering a piece of software that you could see could be useful, grabbing a label maker out to label their files, to hand it off to them. But I haven't touched across the board. The core belief in the virtual compass has been built on this going above and beyond. I think that that's a standard that we're all trying to operate on, but it has to start at the very beginning of the relationship that we are trying to build. Like when we go to networking meetings, that's when you want to start showing the standard that we're operating on. So I was trying to think about a few things that I've done personally when I've been networking. The first networking group that I joined, I built 3-ring binders for everybody, and I created different file folders inside them. I put pockets in them to hold referral slips, thank you for closed business. I had little pocket protectors for everybody's business card, and that business binder was designed in mind that I gave it to everybody in the group, and then it was a way for everybody to see what I can do. And then on the back of the binder, I put, this binder was organized by Lori McClellan with the Virtual Compass. So when people are seeing it, they know who made it. I felt that was going above and beyond. I have volunteered for positions in networking groups. A lot of times I'll ask, does anybody want to be visitor host or whatever it may be? I always try to step up for something because it gave me a chance to show how I can go above and beyond, and how it gave me the opportunity to show my skill set and my personality. Another thing that I'm doing right now is I joined a great networking group in Maple Grove, and I'm turning their referral slips into PDF fillables, so we can do it all while we're on the run during the week. We meet every 2 weeks, so a lot of times I'm handing out referrals and I'm not even thinking about it. So by the time the meeting comes around, that referral that I handed out, 10 days ago has long passed my memory, so I don't turn it into the group. So I'm not getting credit for the referral. So if we can do PDF fillables, I can do it, while I'm waiting in a waiting room or wherever I'm at, and then, turn it in that way. So just taking the opportunity at the very beginning of the relationship to set the standard, to set the bar, to showcase how we operate and how we believe in going above and beyond. Again, not crazy items that I'm doing, but it's just adding another layer. Like, gosh, she really thought that through. So I'm trying to showcase that right up at the beginning. Next, I want to tell you a personal story about failing to go above and beyond during prospecting. And I personally had this happen, I think it was 2 Fridays ago. And it was a huge disappointment, but I took it and I've used it as such a great learning opportunity. And that's why I'm sharing this going above and beyond with you today. I was contacted by a prospect, and I'm going to call him Adam. Adam called me and told me that he was looking for a bookkeeper. He's located 10 minutes from my home. He is thinking it would be about 8 hours a week. And I currently have a very large client that will be leaving me in a few months. They are getting bought out by another company, so eventually I'll be losing my largest client. So I thought this was the universe's way of supplementing the loss I will eventually feel. But I was really panicked over it because I didn't know how long I would be juggling both clients, and I'm really trying to listen to my gut, because a lot of times if you listen to your gut, that's the correct area to be listening to. Sometimes your head gets in the way or your heart gets in the way. So I've been really trying to just follow whatever has been put in front of me. So the night before I was supposed to meet Adam, I did not sleep. I worried about, should I be taking this on? Should I be waiting until this large client's officially gone? How am I going to do it? I don't want to fall short anywhere. How am I going to rebalance my family? I just got daycare and everybody's schedules and commitments settled through the summer, and now I'm going to have to uproot my whole family to try to make this work. And, I lost a lot of sleep over it. I worried about it because I don't like falling short. And the summer for me is my slower season because taxes are done. I don't feel a huge rush, and I really try to take advantage of taking some extra time in the summer for my family and enjoy things in my own personal life. I kind of find myself again. So I went to this meeting with Adam. I thought, I'm gonna follow this through, see where I'm supposed to land. Whatever happens, happens. And I sat down with Adam. It was a great conversation. We seem to find a lot of connections in our life. He lives close to me. We knew a lot of similar people. I really stressed the fact that I'm the mom in my family, and I take that very seriously, and that if my kids need something or if they get called, that lands on me, not my husband, but me. And so if I need to reschedule or cancel or move something because my family, that's part of what I do, and that's part of why I do what I do. So I made that very crystal clear, and I don't always do that, and I just really felt I needed to say it. He was very receptive towards it. He valued it. He respected it. I felt like it went so great. At the end of the conversation, he says, "You know what, Lori, I'm going to have a really hard decision to make because I sat down with one other bookkeeper yesterday, and I'm literally comparing apples to apples. Your rates are the same. What you offer is the same. You have the great family morals. You seem to be both out of the box thinkers." He said, truly, it's going to be comparing an apple to an apple. And I thought, oh, that's good. That's good. You know what? I'm going to keep following this through. I'm going to do my due diligence to get this client. I came home and I really was like, you know what? I really feel that this will work. I really feel like this will work with my schedule. I felt like I lost all that sleep over nothing. Um, Adam was really receptive to doing a lot of virtual stuff. We talked about QuickBooks Online so I could work from home, which I can always make that work in my schedule. So I just felt like, gosh, this is going to be great. You know what? Like, this was put on my plate because it is such a great fit. I got excited about it again. When we meet with those prospecting clients, there's something about that process that fuels my fire. So I was feeling a little alive and a little giddy about it. So that afternoon, I sat down and I wrote him out a thank you email, just thanking him for his time. I offered if he wanted any additional questions or if he wanted to meet me again, I was totally open to it. I expressed that I'm very excited about the possibility of working with them, and whatever I can do to make it an easier transition, I'm willing to do. So that was a Friday, so I didn't expect to hear from him all weekend because he told me he was going to think about it all weekend. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to go with it. Like, I really feel like if I don't get it, that's really okay. That's really okay. I hope I do, but if I don't, it's really okay. So on Tuesday, I got a reply to my thank you email saying, thank you, but I decided to go with the other bookkeeper. And I was like, oh. I think if you guys know my personality, you know that I don't take a no. I'm pretty persistent, I'm pretty determined, and I don't get no a lot. And I'm not saying that to be cocky, but I'm saying that if I hear a no, I think, well, what's another way I can do this then? A no never means no to me. It just means, well, let's try something different. So I thought, a no. And I kind of sat on it for a couple hours, and eventually I told my husband, I'm like, he said no. And he's like, well, why? And I said, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the difference was. So I finally built up enough courage to ask him, I replied to that email saying, out of the interest of continuous growth and making sure that I'm educated enough, trained enough, can you tell me why you decided to go with the other bookkeeper? And he wrote back within minutes and said, honestly, it was such small stuff, but it was the small stuff that maybe mattered. And he said he received, after sitting down with the first bookkeeper, which I think was that Thursday, the day before I went in, within an hour of the meeting, she sent him a resume with references and a link to getting a discount on QuickBooks Online cheaper. And I thought, that is going above and beyond. Now, I refuse to give somebody a resume. I'm not an employee. I'm not going to set that relationship up from the start to operate as an employee, but I will gladly give you the bio that I just had written and testimonials that I have saved since the beginning of my virtual assistant days. I will gladly give you those. And I thought, what an interesting concept. Why am I not doing that? Why are we not doing that? And the discount, I've been using QuickBooks for 20 years. Why have I not figured out how to offer that as a discount? Why have I not gone above and beyond with this? And it was such a great learning lesson for me that my plan is to start incorporating a bio and testimonials as part of my prospecting package. Because, and I'm not even talking about just personally, that's why I'm looking for testimonials from everybody. I want everybody to see testimonials on our team, on everybody on our team. So when I'm trying to prospect somebody, I can ooh and with all these great compliments. I know that we're rock stars, and sometimes I just assume everybody else knows that. But in this case, it was a perfect reason for me to stop and think about, I did not go above and beyond. I did exactly what's expected. I showed up on time. I dressed well. I had a great conversation with them, and I sent a thank you email. That's pretty standard. So I needed to stop and think about how I present myself well in a networking meeting. I go above and beyond. Why am I not doing that with these clients? So it was a great opportunity for me to sit down and think about how I'm going to be moving forward with showcasing that above and beyond with prospects. In doing that, I plan on sending out emails with bios or somehow additional information. If I am speaking of, if we're talking over um, booking sites, different booking sites, why not copy and paste some links for her to research them in an email? Simple things like that, ways for them to see that you take the initiative and you do some forward thinking. Those two aspects, forward thinking and initiative, is huge in our line of work. And taking those steps, even in the prospecting stages, even if you don't end up getting it, you can say, I literally did everything I could have done. And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't work out. But thinking about this going above and beyond, I want you guys to stop and think about how you're going above and beyond from the beginning of the relationship all the way to the end. So even saying that, when I'm prospecting somebody, my intention is to do the bios and the testimonials. But even when we have completed a company project for a client, my next step, the next phase after I can get the website done, is to then, when I send them an invoice, send them a link to pay online, and then also to a page that'll be on our website to review us, to tell us how we did. If we did good, if we did bad, I want to know. And what you want to know, I know that we are all open-minded enough to think, if I messed up, I want to know what I did. So know that that's coming, and to be continued to think about, are you going above and beyond in front of anybody that you do business with or that you want to do business with? Again, use my loss as your gain, and move forward going above and beyond. So that is my personal sharing story about a little bit of a hiccup that I had a couple weeks ago, but again, great learning lesson. Does anybody have anything to add?
I'll pipe in because I'm really not good at being quiet. The forward thinking piece that you mentioned, I can personally tell you that my biggest client right now, at minimum, weekly, we have some sort of conversation about Shondell. That's why, or not, a conversation that involves him ending it with, Shondell, this is why I love working with you. Your forward thinking and your big picture, every action you make is getting us closer to that goal of the big picture. He's like, and I love knowing that you're on our team and that you value that growth as much as we do. So, I mean, forward thinking, those two very exact words come out of his mouth all the time, and how appreciative he is that I do that with them. It goes back to that piece of listening to my client and listening to what they want and listening to what their goals are and figuring out, how can I be a piece of their goals? How do I get to be a piece of their current goals, of their, this is where I want to be next month, and how do I dig my fingers in even deeper to say, I want to be a part of that next goal that you start working on in a year. Like, I dig my fingers in, and I dig them in very, very deep, but not like they feel the pressure necessarily, but just being that team player with them and thinking about their end goal and making it your end goal as well. Mm-hmm. It has just been huge. And I fell into this client kind of sort of by accident, it wasn't by accident. I met him in a networking group, but their situation that initially got me in their door was an accident on their part. They had a service, call them on Wednesday, tell them, hey, we're done on Friday, we're closing our doors, good luck. The owners tried to take it on their own for a couple weeks, and when I met the one owner in a networking meeting, he was like, yeah, my business partner is about ready to chuck his phone out the window, and he can't do this, and it's really affecting our business. And again, hearing that problem, instantly I went into, okay, what's the problem? What is the end goal you want, and how do we get there? How do we get there together? So, just
And
my
there you
take.
made a position for yourself by doing some forward thinking.
Exactly.
Yep.
I don't offer phone answering services. I am answering phones for them. It's a temporary setup, and it was supposed to be done April 1st, and it's not yet. But hey, maybe May 1st will be the lucky number. I doubt it. Um, but I mean, that being said, I went and stepped outside of my box, and how can I help them? Because they now, I started with their phones. Now we've had the conversations of, I'm setting up their office to be totally remote so that they can send me any piece of paper that they want. I have their scanner sitting here in my office. I'm delivering it whenever their schedules line up, but either this week or next week. And making it so that everything flows very easily from them to me. And they're both males, and they're in a trade. It's a carpet cleaning and duct cleaning service, so which is great. But it's men who are dealing with that. Just they're not they're not a suit and tie, stuffy office type of client. But when I went in and told them, like, we were joking, and they're super awesome, but I was like, all right, guys, here's the deal. Like, seriously, I am probably hands down the only female in both of your lives that will truly make your life easier. And both of them did exactly that. And we're like, you need to put that on your business card. You need to put that on your flyers. I will hand that out to every single contractor I know, because it's so true.
Right.
So I've actually they've referred me out, and that one of their friends called me and was like, so I hear you're the girl to make my life easier. Like, yep, you must have talked to Jeff. So I don't know. It was really awesome. It's totally that forward thinking that got me where I am with them.
Yep.
So now I'm taking over, like, I am transitioning to be their office manager, period. So that answer phones to being an office manager, that's pretty cool in my world. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very good. Thank you for sharing, Shondell.
Yeah.
Next, we will move on to the conversation/networking tips. And I did this training in a networking group, and then I, of course, had to rock star it, so I kind of brought it to our standard. I went above and beyond, and typed this up and kind of added and tweaked what I thought was good. It was a great reminder for me. I've been doing this for a long time now, and even bringing it down back to the basics was beneficial for me. And sometimes you have your own routines, and sometimes they need to be broken. So I thought it would be great to highlight how to even start a networking conversation. When you're networking, sometimes you have to, like, on my way to a networking group, sometimes I had to put myself in that zone, because starting a new conversation with a stranger, it's a skill, and I have to be able to kind of hone in on that. And then I also like to stop and think about who is going there. Sometimes you know who's going, and who I want to meet, what my goals are from when I go there. My goal is to meet as many people as I can, if quality people. And then I want to walk away with at least one prospect. And I can usually be pretty successful at that. But even taking it down to how can I do better? How can I even do better? So right from the get-go, you want to make eye contact. You want to smile with your eyes, not a half, like, hey, nice to meet you. Really put a good smile into it. Shake hands. I always offer a handshake. And don't give the wimpy, wet noodle handshake. That grosses me out so bad when people do the half handshake. Ugh. Give a nice, firm, confident handshake. Somebody once told me they fist bump at networking meetings, and I guess if that's your deal, rock it out. But I fist bump my kids. Like, I'm not gonna fist bump. I don't know. To me, it's not okay, but
I think it depends on the industry.
yeah. She was a mortgage broker.
Oh. Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't seem okay. I'm lying.
Yeah.
That's not an industry thing.
Yeah. Right. Um, introduce yourself.
Lori, not to interrupt, do you
Yeah.
think it makes her stand out to people?
Maybe that's it. I also think that she wants to be everybody's buddy, and that's her way of creating the buddiness is
Okay.
because we fist bump buddies, not and guys fist bump, girls don't fist bump, but whatever, right?
Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm off of it now. Thanks.
Introduce yourself and your company. I think we've all kind of discovered how to give that little piece of information in a quick sentence or two. Make sure you're using that during networking opportunities. Um, and then it's the next piece that a lot of people struggle with. How do you take that conversation and turn it into quality and not just like a raw conversation, a stale, boring conversation? So for starters, some of these items are listed here, and I wanted us to kind of talk through them to see what works and doesn't work. And I would love some interaction here. So if anybody wants to kind of role play with me a little bit, I would love it. If you don't know how to unmute yourself, at the bottom or at the top, there is a microphone with a line through it. If you want to join in, just check it, and then I kind of get flagged, so I'll know you want to join in. But even sometimes asking for what you need is important. Asking what you want to receive from the conversation is important, and asking for help. So, and for me, I always want to help somebody because I want to be the go-to gal.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought some of these 4 starter conversations would be interesting to go through. I need advice about. Can I help you with? In the next month, I need. Do you know? I'm having trouble with. I work a lot with. If you have questions about, or do you network a lot? Does anybody want to give a stab at one of them? No? All right. I will do one, and then somebody else can do one. How about I will do I'm having trouble with. So how about, hi, my name is Lori McClellan. I am the owner of the Virtual Compass. We are a team of virtual assistants that provide different kind of administrative executive assistance to business owners. I'm really having trouble with finding enough time in the day. How do you manage your day?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble with my webcam on my computer. Do you know anything about that? Knowing he might be an IT person. If I'm meeting a CPA, I'm really having trouble with how to understand a payable versus a liability, or whatever it may be. If I'm meeting a printer, I'm having a really hard time matching the colors of my business cards to anything I get printed. What am I doing wrong? Or I'm having trouble finding enough team members. We're just growing so fast. I'm wondering if you know anybody who might be interested in being an independent contractor for the Virtual Compass. That's kind of multi-useful. Does anybody else want to try one? Somebody.
The last I went to was I need advice with or about, because they don't, how should I word that? They know what virtual is, but they keep thinking that we're not real, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, to me, for them, it was new. So I was trying to backtrack of how I started as a virtual assistant so they could figure out okay, so she actually does do this at home, and it's not something that you lollygag with, because they don't think, oh, you work from home. Well, do you?
Yep.
And they don't take that seriously. Like a lot of people, the last time, oh, you work from home. Do you really? Well, yes, that's what I do.
Yep.
So I keep telling them, yes, it's for me plus you. So it's not something that's fake, or it's
Mhm.
not. It is a real job.
Yeah. So
And
what
that
you can even do is turn that into I need advice about how to explain a virtual assistant to business owners, just to create the conversation between you and your new prospect.
So are you
Yep.
asking them, Lori, then are you asking them saying, like basically kind of opens it up so that they can ask questions so that I can answer them to explain
Yep.
what I do?
Yep.
And then you know that you're hitting the information. I mean, they're going to ask the questions of stuff that actually pertains to them and their business.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. So it's multi-useful because then you're gonna take the initiative and do some forward thinking on that. Whatever pieces of information you can gather, you're gonna grab and use
Right.
it.
And while they're asking the questions to find out how do you do this or do you do this,
Mhm.
you can not only be answering, yeah, I do that, and use some sort of strategic way to throw it in there that says, and this is how I'm able to do this for you or with
Yes.
you or
Yep.
whatever it is.
Yep. One in the training that I took, there was a financial advisor that used I work a lot with that I thought was really interesting. She said, I work with a lot of new college students that are just starting out, building them a brighter future with their finances. And I thought, because now you've also asked for a referral in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because where does your brain go? Your brain goes, oh, do I know anybody? Because you're there networking, so you're looking for referrals. I thought that was a great gateway to getting referrals. Like for me, I was thinking, oh, I could say, I work a lot with small business owners that need help understanding their financials. The do you network a lot? I thought that one was a good one too, because then you can learn about other networking groups, and you can also use it as a gauge on how dedicated they are to their own business. If they're like, oh yeah, I don't do these things. I don't do these things. You don't know how serious they are, but if they're networking a lot and they network well, you know that they're taking it serious. So I thought it was a good gauge too. And then you can invite them to other networking groups. So again, you look like the go-to gal. And then after so you get done right from the get-go. You've made great eye contact. You get a good introduction, good handshake, and then you created that conversation with them to learn a little bit about what they're needing. Now you got to wrap that up, and you got to figure out a tactful way of wrapping that up. So again, you want to kind of start where you want to end it where you started. So you want to make eye contact, smile with your eyes, shake their hand, nice, firm, and confident. You want to thank them. Gosh, it was great to meet you. Thanks for the time. Thanks for the business card or whatever you might have done. Um, and then somebody also said they end all of their marketing, all of their phone conversations, all their networking. They have branded the phrase, oh, by the way. And at first I thought, what? And so they end all their conversations with, oh, by the way, I'm always looking for a referral to blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, I know a lot about this piece of information. If you know or if you need this product or service, I could help you. Oh, by the way, I have an open house at a new listing on Sunday if you know anybody in this area looking. Oh, by the way. So everything ended in, oh, by the way. And I thought, that's kind of catchy. I don't know that I could do it, but I kind of like that. Or you can end the conversation with asking for a referral. Um, sometimes in that conversation, you're like, they discover I'm a bookkeeper and they're like, oh, I was just talking to my friend. He's a plumber and yeah, he was just struggling with this. At the end of the conversation, I could say, hey, would you mind sharing our contact information with each other so I could follow up with them to see if you need my help? Again, asking for the referral. I know that you kind of were taught as ladies not to ask or demand what we need, but I'm telling you as a business owner, you need to tell people what you need. And then also a tip I've learned that I picked up was asking for a referral from people that you currently do business with. So if you hire your lawn care out and you have a service coming out to take care of you, have that conversation with that person, trade business cards saying, hey, I'm going to get compliments in my yard. I would love to hand out a few business cards. And would you mind, when you're doing those commercial properties, to hand them my business card? So arranging a business relationship with somebody that you're currently already doing business with, I thought was interesting. That might be a good tip. Trading business cards with people is always a good idea. Just take the time to make the connection. Don't just trade a business card. Make the connection and have a true interest in helping them, I think is important.
With one of my clients that I do a lot of business with, the real estate agent, I set up a kind of an agreement between the two of us that for every client or every signed new client that I take on, whether it be one project, multiple projects, whatever the case may be, as soon as that client has a sealed, signed, delivered, done project from his referral, I give my client 1 hour free. But only for the first project, not for all the projects that I do for that person or whatever. But like for the first project, I give my other client, my real estate agent, a free 1 hour for that referral. And that's worked out quite well. I've actually gotten about 4 new client referrals from him that have been signed, sealed, and delivered projects. And one of them is now turned into a reoccurring client that I do now. I'm going to be doing work for all week long, every week. And so it's been beneficial. He benefits because he gets 1 hour of my free time. He uses me every week, all the time. And then now I've picked up another full-time client. But I've also picked up little miscellaneous projects like staging projects and that type of stuff. But it's me giving away a little bit of my time, but at the same time, with all the work that he's bringing in for me, it's well worth it.
It's advertising money well spent.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's only for me, depending upon whatever you charge per hour for that particular client. I mean, if you think about that, and I only receive one referral a month, referral that signed, sealed, and delivered 1 month, once a month or something. Then I'm only losing out on that 1 hour worth of money. I'm not, and it's not losing out either because he doesn't get it unless he actually gives me a client that I do work for. So.
Yep, great. Thanks for sharing, Angie. That's a good idea. I like that, swapping the hour out. That's a good idea. At the bottom of the worksheet here, it says, could you use this? Could this be an above and beyond moment in your networking? I thought, again, you could go above and beyond and offer to do some training in your networking meeting and use this exact sheet. You could hand it out. You could even take it a step further and add your name and contact information on the bottom of the sheet, offer the training. Again, it makes you look good, gets your name out there. And I think we all can sharpen our skills with public speaking. So, always take the opportunity to do that. We're getting close to being done here. The little bit that I want to touch on is I want to give you guys a very sincere thank you for all of your hard work, all of the leaps and hurdles you've done in your business. I greatly appreciate everything you've done for your business, and I'm very proud. I could almost cry. I'm very proud of each and every one of you, and watching you guys grow and watching your business take off has been more rewarding than anything I've ever done in my business career. And when I am out representing the company, I have so much confidence in our team. And I think that we have great quality here. And I just really want to tell you that I thank you for everything you've done, every project you've done, every networking you've done, every sacrifice you've made, because we all know there's several sacrifices in being a business owner. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you and everything you do. And as a thank you, I'm sending out some gift cards via email after this meeting's over. I want you to use them not for business, but for your personal, and I want you to use them on you. And I want you to be proud of what you do and proud of the company you work for and proud of yourself. So thank you very, very, very much. I'm going to unmute everybody, and I want everybody to share a success if you have one, and I have one for each and every one of you. So if you can't think of one, I already have one for you. But I want you guys just to share a little win-win that you feel kind of proud of yourself over, or some big project you just wrapped up, or some great client you just landed, or some kind of success in your own business. And actually, I'm not going to pick on Shondell, even though she unmuted herself right away. I'm going to pick on Amanda. I want you to go first. Let me unmute you, or if you can unmute yourself. There you go. No, it didn't unmute you. You have to unmute yourself.
See, I was just being a good listener by unmuting myself.
First time listener. At the very top, I think on your screen, there should be a microphone with a line through if you want to go ahead and hit that. And then tell me, Amanda, win-win in your business.
A win-win for me, just getting my networking going. It took me a lot to get the confidence up to get to those meetings. Can you hear me?
I can, and I see that you're going to one on Friday morning.
I am.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm also going to give Amanda a little kudos here. I'm very proud of her. She came on board. She's our newest team member, and she came on board, and she received a company client, and she goes to this company client 4 days a week, half days, and the client is kind of intertwined with my life in different ways, but I network with the client's wife. And at the last networking meeting, she stood up and gave the Virtual Compass huge kudos because the client has been coming home raving about Amanda and how great a job she is doing and how fast she is, and that she's faster than all of his employees. So thank you so much for representing the Virtual Compass so well. And again, that makes me so proud when I get to hear that stuff in a networking meeting. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Angie, how about you go next?
I guess my biggest rate for right this second is that I sort of completed a 72-hour, writing conference, but it's with a past client that I gained when I was with Eva, which Amanda probably doesn't know about, but it's a company that basically I started in with Lori before we moved to the Virtual Compass. And I've had that client the entire time, and I started with his little business, which he has profited and made huge and turned into a fairly large business, which he's in the process of selling, and has now started another marketing company, business marketing company. And he basically is going to take me on through the rest of his venture or journey to build this company. And so every 8 weeks I will do these conferences that he pays for everything, including my hourly wage, my hotel, my food, and we'll see what happens, because at this point the majority of his business partners and things are all 7-figure businesses, and so let's hope that my business turns to 7 figures.
That's what I was hoping you were going to share because I think that's a pretty awesome deal. She got to stay in a hotel. She worked her tail off, but so it was kind of a little break from her normal routine, and us mommies could always use that. So great job, Angie.
I'm excited. I'm hoping that it works out really well. And he called me yesterday and he seems like he's super excited about it. He wants all my input. He wants me to start creating things to basically help the process along to make it easier because he would like to have it be huge where we have, 50 to 100 people coming through the weekends and being able to help all these people grow their businesses and turn their businesses into something amazing. So in the
Very
process,
cool.
I'm able to learn about my, growing my business and gain
Uh-huh.
his knowledge for free because I'm basically getting paid to gain his knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, great job. All right, Shondell, what about you?
I think my biggest win-win right now was landing the cleaning company and having them transition from something that, I mean, again, phones you can train a monkey to do, and just knowing that, I guess to myself for thinking big picture for my own company and my own success of take these phones on, show them what you are, show them how you can help their business, and it paid off. It has totally paid off.
Well,
So
good
I
for
just
you.
thought that was really cool because it's the first one that I haven't that I've kind of done completely on my own without. Granted, I guess Laura, you and I have talked about them, but I mean, I just felt like it was the kind of the first one that I did as a big girl.
Good for you, and it is. It's 100% you, so you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, girls, that is our first recorded meeting, and I think it was a huge success. I hope you've taken away some great information. I hope you can use it. I hope you can share it. Again, you always know if you need something, reach out. As a community, we're here to support and help. So please make sure that you're doing that as frequent as we can. I know that sometimes we get cooped up and we feel like we're doing this solo, but always try to reach out, even if it's just, hey, I want to know what everybody's up to. What is everybody doing? The meetings are our opportunity to come together, but I really would love to see your relationships go beyond the meetings and use each other in your daily business. So use the Facebook group, use email. Don't hesitate to ask to meet for coffee, or I'm super excited. I get to see Angie in a couple weeks. We're going to meet for lunch. So I'm really excited about that. Um, I know that, I've met Shondell. We did a Ruby Tuesday working evening. I was over at Amanda's a couple weeks ago, sitting under patio enjoying dinner and a glass of wine. That was awesome. So it's just fun to reach out and get to know each other. And I love learning about each and every one of you and your strengths and what you need from me. And I just appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy days to jump on board, be in the meeting, and I think that's a wrap. Does anybody else have anything to add?
Thank you,
I do
Lori.
think that this hangout stuff went really well. I think this program is a good one.
Yeah, I like this one too. It's been a little bit of a learning lesson for me, but I like this one. I think this is gonna work. I like it better than Click Meeting. So I think we've got a winner here. Winner, chicken dinner. Um, yeah. So, ladies, have a great day. Enjoy the sunshine. I think we all get sunshine today, so enjoy it. And we will be in touch soon. I'm going to hit end broadcast and go ahead and keep working. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye.